Hello! Today I want to talk about something a little bit more serious. As you may have guessed from the title of this video, I want to talk about being alone. I want to talk about loneliness. I've been living in my van for a little over 2 years now, and when I started making these videos, I had a lot of people ask me, how are you not alone? Where are you making friends? How are you crafting a community of people while you're traveling? And when I first got this question, I was kind of like, don't worry about it. Like, you'll make friends. It's easy. And then I started thinking about it more, and I started thinking about my first couple of weeks traveling alone in the van. I decided I wanted to go to Utah by way of Bryce Canyon. My worst fear was that someone was going to try and talk to me. But at the same time, I was painfully lonely. After I drove out to Indian Creek, which was my final destination on that trip, I remember this moment of looking around at all of the campsites full of people, all with starting the fires, everybody was getting rowdy, drinking, yelling, and then there was me, and I just remember driving to one end of the campground where it was dark, and I just drove up, got into the back of my van and went to sleep all alone. And it felt really terrible. The next day I woke up and I had two choices. I could either leave and not go climbing at all, or I could stick around and try and make some friends. So I drove up to the message board. It's this like wooden board in the middle of the campground because there's no cell service out there where people stick notes. And there was a note from this girl, Sarah, on there, and it said, hey, I'm looking for a climbing partner. So I went up to her campsite and was like, hey, do you want to climb? Are you Sarah? And she was like, yeah. We went climbing together, and after that, we met a few people at the crag. We started talking to them. They invited us back to their campsite the next night for a campfire. So it kind of all like snowballed into this community just from that one moment. Since I've been traveling a lot, it's really been like that anywhere you go. If you can just make one strong connection with someone, they have friends, then those friends have friends, and you make connections with those people. We are social creatures. We're meant to connect with other people. And so if you're alone looking for friends, I guarantee that there are other van lifers out there that are also alone looking for community. You just have to find each other. I think generally if you're a nice person, you have decent hygiene, and you're interested in something cool, you will find your tribe. And let's face it, if you live in a van, you kind of already are doing something that's pretty cool right now. People are always interested in vans. People always want to ask you about your build out. They want to ask you how much it costs and where have you been, where are you going. Like, people are really excited about that. If you don't know what to do, you see someone with a cool van build out, just say hi and be like, wow, this is really cool. Like, where are you from? Where are you going? Maybe we're going somewhere similar. Do you want to pair up? The only people that I see join the van life community that don't make good connections are people who are usually really rude or really creepy. And I have seen this firsthand happen hundreds of times where one solo dude will walk up to a campfire and be like, hey guys, and people are like, oh hey dude, and they just become friends. And finally, it's kind of like dating. I think if you are wanting to date someone and you're sitting there like pining and being like, oh, I just want someone to date me, and you're being really desperate and you're just being like, oh, please date me, like, people kind of avoid that. Like, they're like, oh, I don't want that. If you pick up like a cool hobby and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna do this for me and I'm gonna go do this thing, then you'll find other cool people who are out doing that thing, and then people are like, hell yeah, let's hang out. So it's kind of like dating in that way. Don't just like mope about how lonely you are. Like, enjoy the loneliness. Read a book, journal, meditate, go for a solo hike, get a dog. Like, there's so many things you could be doing. And finally, I know that traveling alone can be hard. I've done my fair share of it. It can be isolating and it can really suck. But if you can embrace the loneliness, and this is something that I've started to do, is when I have extended periods of time alone, I just revel in it. I am like, oh my gosh, I get to wake up whenever I want. I get to make breakfast at a leisurely pace, make food. For me, the alone time has become a luxury. If you're having a hard time and you're traveling alone and you're feeling really lonely, my recommendation to you is go do something cool, talk about it, be friendly. You'll find those connections, and sometimes they'll miss and sometimes they'll connect. Finally, just be a good person and embrace the loneliness, because having the opportunity to connect with yourself and being alone is actually a positive thing, not a negative thing. That's everything. I don't have anything else. If you have any questions, please let me know down in the comments. You can follow me on all of the socials at One Chick Travels for Instagram and Facebook. Twitter is at Kaya Says. My website is onechicktravels.com. I launched a Patreon recently. I'm going to be doing a lot of really awesome solo female traveler focused projects in the next year. I'm really excited about those. So if you would like to support mini documentaries on solo female travelers in their vans, in boats, in cars, on foot, I'm going to be documenting that kind of stuff. Hit me up at patreon.com/onechicktravels. And if there's nothing else, I will see you next time.